What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Crunch Time here on a Saturday afternoon. I am Britt Devine. Welcome to the show. Here with my weekend crew, Tim and TJ. Lots going on in baseball tonight, TJ. We were having a little bit of a discussion pre-show. Is it pitching that you want? Is it going to be offense? Which pitchers? Which teams? But fun to be back on the show. Hopefully we can dice it up real well for the viewers today.
Yeah, looking forward to this one. We got MMA locking in less than 10 minutes. We got a fun slate of baseball today. I got a ton of home run bets in. So as long as people are smashing the like button, we got the Spidey bombs ready to rock. So I'm looking forward to today's show. It's going to be a good one.
There's an absolute must-bet home run play for the day, by the way. If he's not a Spidey bomb, I would be absolutely shocked. We'll talk about that based on some of the odds out there. Tim, what's going on with you today?
Yeah, not much at all. Definitely a very, very interesting baseball slate we got going today. A lot of different options that we can go in cash games and GPP. So it's going to be a fun one to break down. All
right, there's a lot of weather. It doesn't look like anything is too imminent. I guess I can bring up the weather page here for Mr. Kevin Roth. I see a couple people asking about that. He's been tweeting, I think literally all day. I saw a tweet of him asking if people were sick of him yet. You never get sick of Roth when there's weather in baseball. Everything is basically yellow. He just put out a latest tweet on Baltimore. It says, I think it's pretty likely we see a late start in Baltimore. It's a lone storm. That's the only show in town, and it's in the process of weakening. He expects Baltimore to be able to play. Right off the top, I'm not really doing anything for weather. Roth has yellow. I've seen his tweets. If anyone sees an update on something that's concerning, please let us know. But is anyone doing anything with a screen full of yellow here?
I'm not doing anything with the weather.
DJ, you set too?
Yeah, same. I'm not touching anything differently.
All right. So with that out of the way, let's get into some of the plays. Get the likes. What do we need for the first Spidey bomb today, TJ?
50 for the first one. We'll go 75 for the second, 100 for the third.
All right. Let's see you guys get up to at least 75 by the time TJ comes around for tournaments. I want to talk to my man Tim on cash games today. There are, let's start FanDuel. One pitcher. A little different over there. You've got Chris Sale, you've got Hunter Brown. These are the two guys I think in contention for your FanDuel cash team. The problem with Chris Sale is he costs a lot of money, and Hunter Brown is a nice discount. Do you think Sale to Hunter Brown? I mean, they both have really nice matchups. Brown's at home against the White Sox. Is Houston still cheating at home? I don't know, but that sounds like a pretty easy matchup. You got Sale against the Angels. Not really great against lefties. Lots of strikeout potential for him. He's had a couple of really good games going on here, at least in terms of strikeouts. Is Sale worth an extra $1,100 on FanDuel to you, or is Hunter Brown your choice?
It's really, really close. It's pretty tough. I'm still gonna lean on Sale on FanDuel and cash. Like if I had to choose, I'd get up to Sale at 11,000. Not quite enough discount, in my opinion, to get to Brown for cash games. Brown in any other format, I think is fine. And if you wanted to play Brown in cash, I don't think it's bad at all. I just prefer the safety of Sale. I mean, in cash games, you want safety, and I think Sale is definitely the safest option.
I think I'm going to go Brown for sure. It gets me. Yeah. It gets me. Those are the two options. I think. I don't think either one is wrong. I want more. I want to make sure I get Manny Machado in there. I want to make sure I get another big bat or two in there, and I have to make some concessions to do it. I'm not willing to play maybe one cheap play, but I'm not willing to play like two or possibly three really cheap guys. Maybe sub $2,500 to be able to get to Sale. I'm okay with one to get to Hunter Brown, but that's basically it for me. So we're on the opposite ends of that, although I think they're, like you said, it's very close. Those are the two options for FanDuel cash. Probably even for single entry, you can make a couple of other options too. DraftKings, Tim, let's talk there, because here we have salary. We have a huge discount. It was $1,100 on FanDuel. It's almost $2,000 on DraftKings. It's $1,900. So if you have to pick one of these to be your SP1 on DraftKings, does the additional savings push Hunter Brown over Chris Sale for you today?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a bigger emphasis on Brown on DK at 9,100. I think that there are actually a few different combinations you can go about in cash games on DK. I think the pitching conversation on DK is very, very interesting on the slate. I think you could go Hunter Brown and Dylan Cease. I think you could go Hunter Brown and Chris Sale. I think you could go Hunter Brown and Hayden Birdsong even. So I think there's like a few different ways you can go about in cash games. I think the quote unquote optimal way is to go Brown and Cease, but I'm a little bit concerned, promoting or, recommending a pitching course for cash games. So I might go Brown and Birdsong in cash games.
Yeah, I'm currently staring at a Brown and Sale. You can make that work. There's some cheap 2K. There's a couple cheap 2K-ish players at positions that you might not want to spend up on today. If you want to do that, I think I'm just going to lock in. Nothing's ever a lock in baseball. My 20 plus fantasy points from each of my starting pitchers. Hopefully, I know we get the discount on Cease. What's your thoughts on that, real quick? In Coors, but he's $8,600. I mean, if this was in San Diego, he would be $1,100 or $11,000, right up there with Chris Sale today. But with the Coors discount, I think I would play Sale, Cease. I would play Eovaldi, and I'd probably play Birdsong before Cease entered my cash games.
Yeah, and for tournaments, he's the highest owned projected pitcher on DK, which I think Brown will come in higher owned, in my opinion. But I mean, still, even if he's second highest owned, I have real concern with that in GPP, and I have real concern with that in cash games, obviously. So I don't mind going your way, Britt, going Sale Brown. I might just. I'm not really sure, but I'm not going to play Cease in cash.
Yeah, I don't think I would either. Birdsong, I would probably be Brown and Birdsong, honestly, for me. And then I would completely alleviate myself of those 2K bats and basically have every bat be a player I actually want to roster. I think that's a reasonable other way to do it on DraftKings. All right, we've gotten to, it looks like enough likes. I see Spidey Bomb 1 on the screen. We're at 74 likes. TJ, they're going to get another like in by the time we finish this. So let's start this off with 2 Spidey Bombs. If we get to 100, maybe we'll have 3 in a little bit here. You've got 1. It's from the right team, but not the absolute must bet, although I absolutely agree on your first one. Your second one better be, oh, no. All right. So I see that one too. Let's talk about these. I'll throw out my absolute must play home run pick too. Let's talk about the guys you got, Gunnar and Mookie.
Well, let's see. Let's get the people getting 25. Only 10 more people need to hit the like button right now to get the third one. And I got a lot today. So if the people want to keep smashing the like button, we're going to keep getting them. Let's see. I'm expecting a refresh and basically already have it be at 100 because that's what the weekend crew does. But Gunnar Henderson and Mookie Betts, Spidey Bomb 1 and 2 plus 575 plus 5.
Gunnar is 650 on DraftKings right now.
I would suggest everybody. That's what I got him at this morning. But then I just checked scores and odds, and it was at 575. So yeah, we're going to adjust that.
I was looking at the screen, and it just flashed on here. So I'm going to double down on that because I had that one bet earlier today. So.
That game isn't a delay, just so you guys know.
Yeah, and again, if you missed the start of the show, Ross says a delay likely, late start. It's just one storm. It's passing through. There's nothing after that. I'm a full go on that game for basically everything.
We are over 100 likes. We'll keep them coming at 125 and 150. So keep smashing the like button. We got 3 Spidey Bombs now, 2 from the same game. I still don't know if this is who you were referencing.
Santander is definitely the other one. He's 500 on Fanatics right now. Is basically the best you can get. I don't know, like a 420. 425 is basically the
bet. 365 has 525 according to scores and odds.
Yeah, let's go get that then if you have bet 365.
And so, yeah, those are the first 3, but I got more of them coming as long as we keep smashing the like button. In terms of pitching today, it would be a difference between the 2 sites for me. On FanDuel, where the discounts aren't as big, I would heavily prioritize Chris Sale. He'd be my single entry pitcher. He would be my cash game pitcher. My priority 2 on FanDuel would actually be Nathan Eovaldi, just because that's where the next biggest discount is. And then maybe like some Tanner Bybee, I would take shots on as well. Birdsong, there's not enough of a discount there for me to really want to go there. But Sale, I would go Brown as my SP3 there if I was making 3 lineups, but Eovaldi would be my number 2. On DraftKings, it's a totally different story. I'm basically the only chalk I'm playing today is essentially Birdsong and Brown. I'm full fading Chris Sale. I'm full fading Dylan Cease. And spoiler alert for the stacks, I'm full fading the Padres bats as well. I got Hunter Brown in 70% of my lineups. And then in terms of SP2s, I'm getting to a lot of the cheapies. Hayden Birdsong and David Festa are my two highest owned by far. I have Birdsong more than Festa. Festa's probably not going to throw a bunch of pitches, but he can strike a lot of people out, even in limited pitches. And then Eovaldi and Bybee are my next two guys in the 8K range. I got a lot of them as well in the 20% range. And then just pieces, just gross little pieces is are Kyle Freeland and Cade Povich.
Those are gross. But the vomit pitchers, if Blender was here, he would say, yeah, you got to do what you got to do sometimes to get the bats that you want today. Yeah, Festa has a little bit of a pitch count. I believe it looks like Roto-Grinders were projecting him for 79 pitches. You mentioned the strikeout ability at Texas. You're not concerned about that. That's basically the Birdsong swap. You're paying a little bit more for it, but you're going to get much less ownership. And that I would assume that's what you're doing right there, TJ, correct?
Yeah, I don't have a ton of confidence in it, but we're projecting single-digit ownership, and he's got a ton of strikeout ability. So it's just a shot on the strikeouts.
All right, I didn't hear Freddie Peralta at all, a guy who does have some strikeout ability, but it's against Cleveland and X for you.
Yeah, not enough of a discount for me. He just hasn't been good, so I'm not going there today. He hasn't looked like himself recently. Somebody in chat asking about Bobby Miller. I did put him in one of my 150 just because I had to adjust somebody who wasn't in a lineup, and he was the only pitcher that fit, but not somebody I'm planning to play.
All right, keep hitting the like button. TJ's will come up. We're almost at 125 already. So TJ, next time around, let's hope you can come up with another Spidey bomb. So that was a wrap at pitching. Tim, let's real quick talk offense. I'll throw it to TJ in just a second. What are we doing today? We obviously have cores. How saturated are your teams with San Diego? It looks like a pretty good spot for them today. You can never trust the Padres when you want, like using the Padres when then their chalk seems like a certain impending doom. But their prices aren't all too high. They are bumped up a little bit on FanDuel, but they're pretty reasonable on DraftKings today. I'm getting some of them. I'm trying some of these Atlanta bats. Especially the lefties and maybe an Austin Riley, like the good. Now, Michael Harris is up at the top of the lineup today. You can get those guys. I don't know. This is like the general thesis of what I'm looking at from a cash perspective today.
Yeah, from a cash perspective, it's definitely San Diego. It's definitely Atlanta. Those are the clear and obvious choices. I really like Michael Harris on both sites. He's my favorite Braves bat. Favorite Padres bat is probably Manny. Pretty easy. I think he's pretty easy to get to be honest with you. So San Diego, Atlanta, and then if you're looking to get different, I really like Boston quite a bit against Cade Povich. TJ, did you say that you're pitching some Cade Povich? Did I hear that?
Oh, yep, I am, because he's projecting pretty well in the bat and he's super cheap, but only 7% in 150 mini max lineups. Not something I would put any real money on.
Okay. All right. And then I think Houston's super interesting. They also have some really, really cheap pieces that you could add as like fill-in stacks or like mini stacks against Chris Flexen. So I do like Houston quite a bit as well.
All right. And then TJ, tournaments, what are you looking at? I'm assuming we've hit the like threshold. End with another Spidey bomb for everybody.
Yeah, we got Matt Olson at plus 340. We just hit 125 likes, so that takes us to 4 Spidey bombs for Gunnar Henderson, Mookie Betts, Matt Olson, Anthony Santander, the 4 Spidey bombs today. If we get it up to 150, I do have one more. For stacks today, surprise, surprise, who are the stacks that I like? I like the Dodgers. I like Baltimore. Baltimore is my highest owned stack today. And I like Atlanta. They're my 3 highest owned stacks, the teams that I'm getting the Spidey bombs from. Even though I'm pitching Festa, I also have a ton of Texas today. I love Colorado going up against Cease. I think that's some really good leverage, especially on DraftKings. Houston, like Tim said, I think they're in a great spot. Boston, I have a lot of. And then Cleveland as well, going up against Freddie Peralta. He's just been really bad, so I think Cleveland's an interesting sneaky stack.
All right, let's go to catcher for cash on FanDuel. Maybe like a Danny Jansen is cheap enough on FanDuel where you might be able to make it work. He's 3,300 on DraftKings today. There's a couple of not a position I'm spending on. You've got multiple 2K catchers. Probably you would use Romo at 2K from Colorado against Cease if you're looking for a bottom price range absolute punt. You've got Robinson of the White Sox against Houston. That would be a hard pass for me. I'll take the guy in Coors, even at the bottom of the lineup without question. Jansen looks like the play in the cheapish tier. You can get up to like there's a couple other guys too you might want up towards the top, like a Diaz, either Contreras, Will Smith. But this is, as usual, Tim, a position I'm generally trying to save some money on.
Yeah, it's probably Campusano for me at 3,500. Although you could go Jansen for sure at 33. I just like going the Coors route, and then Darno if you have the money at 43. Would be my next favorite for cash games.
TJ, anyone you're trying to single out for tournaments at catcher?
It's a really strong position here for tournaments today. A lot of guys I want to go to, actually. I do like spending up for Will Smith or Yiner Diaz, but the cheap options are really good too. Danny Jansen and like Victor Caratini, Bo Naylor, or if you got to go all the way down, Drew Romo. And then you got Darno there too. I got McCann quite a bit in my Baltimore stacks, and that kind of rounds it out.
All right. First base, you've got, so let's talk a little bit different. You've got Donovan Solano, who's multi first, second, and third on DraftKings. So he's for the Padres in the middle lineup. You're going to want him on your DraftKings or your FanDuel team somewhere. I don't know if first is going to be the spot. He's first and third eligible on DraftKings. He fits in really nice at first base over there. So FanDuel, you're probably spending up to maybe like a Matt Olson, who was a Spidey bomb from TJ today. Solano, you're probably going to move around to second, probably not third. You're going to want to play Machado at third today. But those are probably, it's Solano or I'm spending up to in Olson or Freeman, not really a position I'm messing around with today.
Yeah, you're right on with that. Solano should be at second base and on your FanDuel team.
Yeah.
And then on DK, Solano should probably be your first baseman. But there's also some other like interesting punt options like John Singleton at 2,600. I don't mind getting a little bit different and like paying up for like a Freddie Freeman or something like that just to be different. But if you have the money, Matt Olson is my favorite raw point first baseman outside of Ohtani, who I don't think is really accessible today.
Yeah, and it's not the great. I mean, he's Ohtani, but it's not the greatest spot against the Cardinals pitcher, who's high ground ball rate and doesn't really. It's Ohtani, but too expensive for I think the pitchers you want to use today. TJ, tournaments. What is Ohtani on DraftKings at $6,900? I mean, this is a lot unless you're pitching two cheap pitchers and you're foregoing maybe Coors. I mean, that is a lot of coin on a slate where there's Chris Sale and a Coors game.
Yeah, who cares? It's Shohei Ohtani and he's single-digit ownership. I have 5 players today who I have over 20% of. Yordan Alvarez, Mookie Betts, Gunnar Henderson, Shohei Ohtani, Anthony Santander. Top 5 bats on the slate for me today, and I'm getting an absolute ton of them. And all you really have to do is not play Chris Sale. If you don't play Chris Sale, you can pretty much do whatever you want with bats today. That's why my favorite pairing is Birdsong and Brown. First base, highest owned guy is Ohtani. After that, it is some salary saving options. Nathaniel Lowe, John Singleton, my 2 favorites there. Matt Olson, obviously I love Spidey Bomb. Outside of that, it's just guys and stacks for me.
All right, so second base, you've got Solano on FanDuel for sure is probably where you want to put him in at second base. You've got what are you doing with Xander Bogaerts today, Tim? Because man, this dude has had an absolutely disappointing season. The projections, of course, he's in Coors with the splits advantage. He's been horrible versus lefties. I don't want to play him, but he's just cheap enough, specifically on DraftKings at 4,800 in the Coors game, where I think you probably have to. On FanDuel, if you're searching for a couple, probably not at second. You're probably going to put Solano there. I think he's a little bit more of a lock on DraftKings than he is in FanDuel is what I'm getting at. I want him on FanDuel too, but I'm not thrilled to play him.
I'm actually let me just double check. I'm actually not playing him in either of my lineups, cash or single entry.
Mhm.
So, but if you want to go there, that's completely fine. Wouldn't fault anyone. I prefer punting on DraftKings to Shea Whitcomb at the min price 2K, just to punt. That's one of the ways that I can play Sale, is because I'll just punt with him. If you don't want to do that, I think Jake Cronenworth is a super interesting GPP play. And then also somebody like Gavin Lux, I like quite a bit. TJ's guy, Julian, is back, and he's min price on FanDuel, so I think he's pretty interesting over there. He's only 3K on DK also, so I think he's a pretty interesting tournament play also.
Yeah, the Astros Whitcomb, he's a shortstop too, so you can put him. He's second base shortstop on DraftKings. I was going to talk about him at shortstop, but yes, if you're looking for a punt, he's probably the premier 2K player of the day, correct, Tim?
Yeah, or Romo. Romo's pretty interesting also.
Yeah, if you need both to load up on pitching or other bats, those are the two guys you probably are looking at towards the bottom of the salary tier. TJ, what are you doing at second? Tim threw a couple guys at you. All right, do you like Bogarts? Are you getting different? There are a couple. There's a lot of plays you can get into here.
So I have zero Padres today in any lineup. So I don't have any Bogarts. I do really like Jose Altuve. I like Shea Whitcomb if I got to go all the way down. But my favorite is the mid-tier. Jackson Holiday is projecting for less than 5% ownership. He's my highest owned guy. Absolutely love him today at second. They got him all the way up batting sixth. He's been red hot. Baltimore's my favorite offense, and he's my third favorite player to put in a stack behind Henderson and Santander. Gavin Lux is really the only other guy at this position that I'm targeting.
Was I busy following in spider bombs on the Padres take? Did you talk about why you have no Padres today?
Just ownership. Kyle Freeland's been weirdly good at home. I don't really know why, but not something I'd put too much stock into. But the fact that they're super highly owned as well, just going without them today. Same reason I'm fading Season and Sale.
I can understand that. There are enough other viable offenses today, and they are the Padres. So I can understand that. TJ, Tim, 150 lineups. Would you have no Padres? That's a pretty strong take from TJ when they're clearly like one of the most highly owned players today.
I don't hate it. I think it's a good way to go about your strategy. I mean, I don't mind.
If they fail, you're rocketing up the leaderboards today for sure.
Yeah, and it's such a small slate. Like ownership's going to be really, really condensed. So I really don't hate that.
All right, let's go to third base, Tim. What are we doing it there? It's Machado, both sites. Lock it in, attainable. He's like the premier. If there's one player you have to have tonight, it's probably Manny Machado.
Yeah, definitely in cash. I'm definitely playing Manny on both sites. I think Austin Riley is a really strong pivot away from him. I think somebody like Jose Ramirez is going to go completely unowned tonight, so that's always interesting. Royce Lewis, I think, is very, very interesting in GPP also. And so is Devers. So, I mean, this is a really good position to spend up to get different. A lot of guys with really massive ceilings to pivot off the chalky Machado if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, TJ, on DraftKings, I'm looking at Machado and Solano eating up 36% of the ownership. If you don't have those guys, your ownership, you're going to be severely overweight. Everybody else, who's stopping it for you?
Jose Ramirez, number one, my favorite guy at the third base position today. Ryan McMahon, Austin Riley, Rafael Devers, my next tier. After that, it's really just guys in stacks outside of Royce Lewis, too, is another one-off guy for me. But the only other players in the pool are Urias, Hernandez, Josh Young, and Nolan Arenado, and they're only in stacks.
All right, shortstop. You've got Whitcomb on DraftKings if he didn't make your second base tier. You've got your choice of Padres between Bogarts and Kim on FanDuel. Kim's 3,300. Bogarts is 3,500 if you weren't using either one of them, if you weren't using Bogarts at second. What's your take on that? If you're not using Oh my goodness, I can't believe. Bogarts, Tim. Who's rounding out your shortstop tier?
I'm actually playing Kim on both sites over Bogarts.
I have Kim on FanDuel, so
yeah, and I think that you should be playing Whitcomb at second regardless, just because I think the shortstop position is stronger. So I'm gonna go Kim. I like I don't mind obviously like Corey Seager for tournaments quite a bit. I like him quite a bit, like Mookie quite a bit, and Jeremy Pena would be my next favorite over Kim.
TJ Turnham Pena's got a nice little home run hot streak. Some power's coming through for him. I don't think hot streaks aren't real. Cardi's confirmed that, I believe, but he's on one, and I feel like that sort of thing. TJ,
no, I think he even admitted to this, and it's hot streaks are absolutely real, but it's impossible to quantify when they will begin or end.
Yes, yeah. Is Pena on the hot streak tournament team, TJ?
He is in the pool, but I'm about even with the field. Mookie Betts, a Spidey Bomb, is my highest owned guy. Gunnar Henderson is in one lineup less than Mookie Betts, and then they're making up 50% of my shortstop position today. Corey Seager is my next favorite guy. Whitcomb, if I got to spend down. Everybody else is only in a stack.
All right, outfield, Tim. Like I want Yordan Alvarez, but I don't have 6,000, right? If I'm playing a Sale, a Brown, and I'm playing a Machado, there's only so many bats you can get onto fantasy. It's a salary cap game. I mean, Yordan, I would take straight up as the best bat of the night against Flexen. I mean, his odds to hit a home run were like in the 100s. Don't really want to bet it when it's like that.
Were they really?
It was
were
like
they really in the
plus
100s?
I saw 165.
Wow.
I'll see what they're looking at like early right now. But he would be my other bat. He's probably going to get some ownership, the absolute best spot. But I'm in the low to mid tier, I think, on both sites for the most part today. So guys like Bryce Snyder, Colton Cowser, you've got a Michael Harris. I know you mentioned him. If you want another Coors bat, David Peralta, it's lefty, but he might get one at bat against the lefty before the righty bullpen comes in, and they're starting him against the lefty. He's going to be in there for a whole game. He's cheap enough. You've got Ramon Laureano, who I think he's cheap, but I think I saw BVP. I think he might have 3 home runs. This was either yesterday or today against Griffin Canning or the Angels pitcher. I'm not sure. I'll double check that. But if you're a BVP truther, I think he may have it today. That's sort of where I'm looking. Don't have a lot of money for the big spends.
Yeah, Michael Harris is my first click in the outfield on both sites. I also went to Peralta on DK. He's only 3,400, so I think that's a pretty good price. You're right though. Alvarez would be the best play, but I don't have the money either, so I can't get to him. But love those calls. I guess the only other person I'd add, probably. Yeah, did you bring up Colton Cowser?
Yeah, he's on my FanDuel team without question.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. I think he's a really good call. I think he's a good play for GPP on DK as well. So, and then I mean, I really like Profar a lot, and guys like Tyler O'Neill, but I can't get to them. So, but I love them as like one-off plays at their price point.
O'Neill he's the guy I want, but I can't get on either site today. I think at his price range, I just can't get him.
Even on FanDuel, you don't think you can?
Cowser is my highest priced outfielder right now. I can't scrape it together. I really want O'Neill. I that might be a mistake not having him on my part, but he's someone I definitely am sad that is not on my teams today. And yes, Griffin Canning is going to give up a bajillion home runs today if you're a home run truther. Ozuna's faced him 3 times, 2 home runs. Olson's faced him 16. He has 2 home runs, and Laureano 19 at bats, 3 home runs. Austin Riley's going to get a couple too today. So just if you're BVP truther, Canning about to give it up. TJ, outfield for you. So if you're using some of the cheaper pitchers and you don't have San Diego, you probably do have guys like Tyler O'Neill. You definitely have the Baltimore outfielders. You probably have some Ohtani. You definitely have the money to get to Alvarez. Am I correct in all of this?
I mean, yeah, I did already say Ohtani and Alvarez are in a tie with a couple other guys for my highest owned players with Betts and Santander. So those are my 4 highest owned. After that, I like Kauser. Laureano is a cheapie. Adolis Garcia is a low owned play. Matt Wallner as a low owned play. I really like getting to some Mullins as a cheaper option. I am getting to some Michael Harris and Tyler O'Neill, but I'll probably be under the field on both of them. And then Will Brennan is another cheap option I like as well. Brenton Doyle and Marcelo Zuna for some contrarian spend up options.
Yeah, Yordan Alvarez on both DraftKings and Caesars is plus 180. Don't bet those if you want them to bet a home run. I see a plus 250 at MGM. But when the home run odds start with a 1, unless it's Aaron Judge, I stay away. And even that, I try to find a no that's like a minus 200 or something like that, Tim. The no home runs generally not the greatest bets in the world either. I'd rather, and who wants to bet for no home run, right? I want to bet for the home run. But anyway, yeah, some of those odds on Yordan today are I don't think I would take those, but he is one of the biggest favorites, if not the favorite, to go yard tonight. All right, let me check likes, TJ. Have we gotten enough for a final Spidey Bomb? Do you have one in the back pocket? It looks like we're 18 likes away from 150.
18 likes away. I don't think they can do it. If I'm being honest, I don't think they can get there.
A challenge, chat. Let's see if we can get up there. We'll get a final Spidey Bomb. I'll give you. I'll throw in one too. I got a long shot. He was 950 earlier. I'll pull up and see. I wrote up on scores and odds. I'll see if I can. I'll throw a long shot if we get up to 152. If you want a longer odds home run play. All right, let's take some questions. YouTube chat. We've got the Roto Grinders live stream chat on Discord. If you're in Discord, I see someone pinged me personally. Jay, he wants to know an Oakland or Baltimore stack for a FanDuel single entry. I mean, Tim, this is without question Baltimore, correct? I mean, Baltimore, all these guys can go yard. Bello, however you pronounce his last name, he can be hit by lefties. And the Boston bullpen is absolutely atrocious, Tim, currently, basically since the All-Star break. And over the past 2 weeks, 2.5 home run per 9 from the Boston bullpen. I mean, they are struggling right now.
Yeah, it's definitely Baltimore for me. No question about it.
Yeah, let's see. Yordan. It's from Garfield. I'm going to look at the live stream chat. I see a couple people typing. We'll stick in there for a second. Garfield wants to know Kepler, Santana. So this is DraftKings Cash or Naylor and Thomas. So, Tim, really, to me, none of those guys are really on the DraftKings Cash lineup today.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Let's pick our favorite of that. And then let's throw in some other options that Garfield might be able to get in there. So if you had to choose Kepler and Santana or Naylor and Thomas,
I'd go the first one. Would you?
Yeah, I'd take the first one. But let's talk. So Kepler is 3,600. So I played David Peralta over Kepler without question, correct?
Yeah.
So that would be a swap there. And Santana is, I'm going to assume that's what? Carlos Santana is 3,700. I would go right down to if you're at that price tag, I would play Mountcastle. I would play
Solano.
I would even go down to Singleton at 2,600 before I would play Santana tonight, right?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, so Garfield, make a couple swaps on that. New generation DraftKings tournament. So let's go to TJ on this one. Wong and Rafaela or Singleton and O'Neill?
Singleton and O'Neill by a lot.
Yeah, Singleton and O'Neill. The Wong Rafaela, it does get you a Boston stack, but I think I would definitely break that out for Singleton and O'Neill, right, Tim?
Yes, that 100%. Yeah.
Baltimore, what do you think? Let me pull up the Roto Grinders projections as a stack, single entry. Is that okay with Baltimore? I'm going to try to figure out what their FanDuel.
Baltimore is my top stack on the slate, so I think absolutely.
What do you think, Tim?
I love Baltimore. I also love Boston. I love that whole game.
Yeah, it's the weather edge even has a little bit of a bump in home runs with the weather there today. I mean, Baltimore's not a single Baltimore bats towards the top of ownership today. That's on everyone's on Baltimore today.
For me, Boston. I like Boston more than Baltimore, but they're both really, really good.
All right, TJ, we're at 149 likes. We're going to get to 150 because I'm going to click it right now. So we're at 150. I'm going to throw mine out, and then you can get your final Spidey Bomb. Mine, let me get the latest odds. We're going back to Baltimore. I want lefties against Brian Bello, and I want home run hitters against this Boston bullpen right now. We're going down the lineup to a Cedric Mullins. I've got oh my goodness, if you have an MGM and can bet more than 32 cents like me, a plus 1050 on Cedric Mullins on MGM right now. If you are able to get that, I see a definitely not Fanatics, a 900 on DraftKings. I think I would play that as well. I think that was the limit. I got it at 950 earlier. So that would be a long shot for me. TJ, who are you looking at?
Might as well. This is why we're stacking Baltimore, because you can you play Santander, you play Henderson, you play Mullins, and you play the fifth Spidey Bomb at plus 900 as well on Bet365, Jackson Holiday. Then you only got to find one more to fill up your stack on DraftKings, and you're good to go on FanDuel. So this is my top stack of the day, and Spidey Bomb number 5, Jackson Holiday.
Yeah, would you do an 850 MGM, 830 FanDuel? Those are a little bit.
I do anything over like 650.
All right, so all of those also in play today. All right, live stream chat. We'll get a couple more FanDuel tournament favorite pitcher of the cheapies today, Tim. So we're looking towards some of the cheaper pitchers. Let's just say non-sale, non-Hunter Brown on FanDuel.
I'd say Eovaldi, 8,200.
Yeah, that's too cheap for Eovaldi. Anyone cheaper? I'm just trying to take a look here.
I guess Festa.
Yeah, it's 68. That would get you every bat that you possibly want today.
Yeah.
But I think, Eovaldi at 8,200 is certainly, that would be without question the guy I would go to on DraftKings if you're trying to.
I'm just worried Festa won't even get you the quality start because he's on a kind of a leash. So I don't know.
Definitely play Eovaldi there. I'm gonna go to YouTube. Let's see what we got there. Mountcastle or O'Hearn on DraftKings today. I would definitely play O'Hearn over Mountcastle today.
Yeah. I guess it'd be O'Hearn. I like both, but yeah.
We're literally I think we've named every Baltimore player as our one of our favorite home run plays, and people are bringing them up. If maybe their ownership is going to be higher than currently projected. If all of us are on them, maybe other people are as well. But it's consensus right now for the show. Let's see here. We can get a couple more. Dodgers or Atlanta stack with the cheap Orioles bats. This is from King Mana. TJ, what would you prefer with that?
I think Dodgers, but I do really like both.
All right. I saw Tim answered this in chat, but if you were choosing between Devers or Freddie Freeman, so probably in a utility spot, who would you take between them and why, Tim?
I really like Boston tonight, so I would take Devers.
Okay. This is from Devin, not producer Devin, but a different Devin from YouTube. He's got a DraftKings single entry.
This is Kansas City Royals, Devin.
Kansas City Royals. All right. It's Mookie Betts and Blackmon or Ohtani and Brendan Donovan. TJ, who would you prefer with your high-priced LA Dodger bet today?
Betts and Blackmon.
Okay. Let's see. Is Eovaldi on any sort of pitch count? Roto-Grinders has him at 92. The bat has it at 95.
He's not on a pitch count.
No pitch count. Let's go Eovaldi for a reasonable cheap pitcher today. Let's see if we can get a couple of more. I'm going to scroll back just a little bit. Michael Harris or Garcia DraftKings cash. That's Michael Harris. Probably both of our favorite mid-tier bat of the day. What is he? He's 3,200 on FanDuel and 4,200 on DraftKings.
Yep, he's my favorite outfielder. I bet him to hit a homer. He's my tater of the day.
He is. All right. What are the odds on that?
He's 440 on FanDuel.
That doesn't seem. I want more than that.
I did too. Everything that I want to bet though is so awful.
Today is
nothing.
I'm
just gonna. Yeah.
Nothing has great odds today except the Baltimore bats, which I don't understand at all. Like they're so mispriced compared to what I would expect. I was expecting to see Santander at like 350, and he was pulling a 525. I was expecting to see Gunner at 500, and he's 650. I was expecting to see guys like Holiday and Mullins at like 750, and they're 900 to 1,000. And it's just, I don't understand that. Sometimes the books are smart, and sometimes we think we have an edge, and I think that might be one of the edges we have tonight. Andrew in YouTube chat. So we've got a couple minutes to lot, guys. Keep them coming. If the questions roll end, so will the show. So Andrew wants to know Brown and Solano. So that's Hunter Brown and Solano, or Cesar Evaldi with Riley and Machado. Brown and Solano. I guess if you can get Machado, I understand wanting to get it, but Solano's good enough where I'm not going to give up Hunter Brown. That makes sense.
That is a tough one. Yeah, I agree with you.
TJ, would you have a take on that one? I know you're not on some of these San Diego bats tonight. Would you give up Hunter Brown for Cesar Eovaldi if you upgraded from Solano to Riley and Machado or Machado?
Yeah, in a tournament, yeah. I would do it with Evaldi, though.
All right. Best outfielder 4,200 and below. I'm going to assume that's DraftKings.
It's Michael Harris.
That's Michael Harris. Let's pretend he has Michael Harris. Who would be your next?
All right. I like Ref Snyder.
Yeah, he's 39. He would be mine.
I know the bat, and I also don't mind Adolis Garcia, 41.
Yeah, I would play Reif Snyder without question as the second one. But Harris and Reif Snyder, those are like the two mid-tier bats that if you're playing are like, those are the two guys tonight without question to me. I think you would probably agree as well. Cesar Brown on DraftKings is from Mr. Jenkins. I don't know. Hunter Brown's my guy. Hunter Brown's my guy. Like home against the White Sox or season Coors. I know it's Colorado, but it's still Coors.
Yeah, I would go Brown over Cease.
And then TJ, what's your thought on that?
Oh, Brown by far.
All right. Ozuna or Tovar? Prize Picks 1.5 total bases. It's not Ozuna.
Yeah.
Ozuna, yeah.
Ozuna's 2 for 3 with 2 home runs against Griffin Canning. I mean, that's pretty. I mean, nobody really knows about that, but it's Ozuna.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's definitely Ozuna. Definitely Ozuna. Let's see. Anything else? I think we finished the YouTube questions. Going to go back to live stream chat. FanDuel single entry is from J Tim. He's got to make this quick. Harris, Blade, or O'Neill? Single entry FanDuel.
O'Neill.
Yeah, Harris or I don't know. I would probably take O'Neill or Harris. Blade would probably be very far behind those two. Yaz wanted to know DraftKings large field. So TJ, this is coming to you. Festa and Birdsong, crazy to get all the bats that you might want tonight?
No, I don't think so.
So, like, I think you got to have one of the top guys. Can Festa and Birdsong get it done tonight, Tim, and the bats come through? If all the Baltimore guys homer, I guess that would work, right? Because we want them to in the same game parlay would play out like plus $400 million or something like that. But I don't know. I think I would have to have one of the big guns. Even in my large field tournaments, I know TJ's is doing much differently than that tonight.
Yeah, Festa and Birdsong I think might be a little ambitious, but you never know.
Yeah. All right, that looks like all the questions for tonight. We're going to be out of here. Oh, Birdsong, Cash, SP2, Tim, real quick. I'm not doing it.
I think you can. I think you can do it. So all right. I think that's okay.
I'm double premium. I'm Sale and Hunter Brown on DraftKings. So Tim and I are going to have very different lineups on DraftKings tonight, I would assume. Let's see. We've got that. Locks happening right now. Thanks to everyone for clicking the like button. We got lots of Spidey bombs. Hopefully the Baltimore bats come through for all the bets I have. TJ Spidey bombs. His stacks tonight. I know Tim likes that game as a whole. Weather Edge likes it. So we're going to hope we see some power in that game. Good luck to TJ in his MMA contest tonight. And Tim, we know you don't do anything fun, correct? So
that's very correct.
all right. So Tim's not gonna. I'm gonna put a couple kids to bed and go to sleep. So that's about what's happening over here. No fun, except for maybe TJ has a little, but definitely not from me or Tim tonight. Other than that, I hope everyone has a good day in DFS sports betting. For Tim and TJ, I'm Brett. Thanks for watching, and we out.